Donald Trump is shredding his own schedule, throwing it out the window because he's preparing for two things. Number one, golf at the taxpayer expense. That's what he's going to be spending the weekend doing. Two, a meeting with Vladimir Putin, where Donald Trump will be surrendering Ukraine, surrendering America's strength in the world, surrendering our dignity, humiliating himself in front of Vladimir Putin and the world. Yes, Donald Trump announced yesterday that he will be meeting directly with Vladimir Putin and cutting Zelenskyy out of these discussions. You know where the meeting is taking place. It's taking place in Alaska on United States soil. Donald Trump rolling out the red carpet for our enemy, Vladimir Putin, as Putin has put the condition on Donald Trump. Zelenskyy cannot be there until Putin's conditions are met, which basically means he wants to take over all of the areas in Ukraine that Russia has sought to take over during this horrific war launched by Russia. Would be a total capitulation by Donald Trump to its allies, to Ukraine. Horrific to see. But here's what Donald Trump posted yesterday. He wrote, "The highly anticipated meeting between myself as President of the United States of America and President Vladimir Putin of Russia will take place next Friday, August 15, 2025, in the great state of Alaska. Further details to follow. Thank you for your attention to this matter!" Exclamation point. I don't know what's more humiliating, Donald Trump meeting with Putin in Alaska, or if Donald Trump just went to Moscow, went inside the Kremlin and just literally pledged allegiance to Vladimir Putin at this point. I just want you to think about it at this point. You know, Donald Trump rushing to have his DOJ meet with sex traffickers like Ghislaine Maxwell and give her preferential deals. Instead of actually dealing with the victims, Donald Trump rushing to meet with Vladimir Putin after treating Zelenskyy like crap in the Oval Office, and after ignoring our other allies. I mean, like, Donald Trump has not met with the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, despite the fact that we have important agreements with Australia. They fought side by side, shoulder to shoulder with us. And that's just kind of how Donald Trump treats our allies. It's nothing against Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. I mean, Donald Trump is a fascist. He's an authoritarian, and Albanese is a leader in a democracy who stands for Australia's sovereignty. I just want you to think about Donald Trump who he rushes to meet with Russia. Then Donald Trump makes bizarre posts of himself with an American flag face, defacing our flag, just randomly posting his face with the American flag on it, sending stalkerish and weird messages to his supporters via email like this. "I've been looking for you all week, Ben. I've been looking for you. I left you a message in between my meetings. I only have a couple of minutes, but you're so important to me that I need you to take a look at this right now. View the text from Trump. Thank you and God bless you." When you click the button, guess what? Donald Trump asks you for donations. He asks you for money. Here's how it's being reported by The Guardian. Trump and Putin are meeting, and Donald Trump talks about swapping Ukrainian territory to Vladimir Putin. Washington and Moscow are aiming, this is how it was reported by Bloomberg, are aiming to reach a deal to halt the war in Ukraine that would lock in Russia's occupation of territory seized during its military invasion, according to people familiar with this matter. And you have Donald Trump cutting out Europe from this, cutting out Zelenskyy from this. This is what Putin always wanted, the bilateral meeting with Donald Trump, and now it's happening on American soil. Great work, Donald. You've humiliated the United States. Seriously, one of the most horrific days in our history right there. Yesterday, Donald Trump was asked a question. Donald Trump had the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan in the White House. Donald Trump tried to act like there was a great peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Go back. Donald Trump promised the Armenian people and the people in the diaspora here in the United States, Armenian diaspora, are of course Armenians, the victims of genocide, and have experienced atrocities, strong community here in the United States. He said, look, I'm going to protect the Republic of Artsakh, and I got your back. But Donald Trump cementing Azerbaijan's conquest over the Republic of Artsakh in this, deal that's basically a surrender of an area that was occupied by, indigenous Armenian ethnic Christians, 160,000 who had to flee as a result of Azerbaijan's invasion. In any event, Donald Trump kept on saying yesterday, I deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. Give me a Nobel Peace Prize. Look what I did with Ukraine and Russia. What'd you do? You said you would bring peace in 24 hours. And now Donald Trump saying, yeah, well, I stopped World War III. Give me credit for it. I stopped World War III, everybody. Here, play this clip.
That war could have escalated in something much better. That could have been a world war. I think if we didn't come, Ukraine-Russia would have ended up being a world war. And I stopped that. That stopped. Now, the only question is, when is it going to be settled? And it could be very soon, but when is it going to be? But that would have been a world war. If I didn't come along with a very talented group of people sitting largely right here, but there are others not in the room that are very talented, I think Russia, Ukraine would have had a very, very high degree, I think even probably would have ended up being in a world war.
Again, just so utterly pathetic. I'm going to do a video in about 90 minutes on this, so check back in. But you have countries like Canada, Japan, and others building up their military right now, and quickly. We're dealing with fast military builds up, quadruple the budgets of the military, and moving away from American weaponry as well, recognizing, America is moving under Trump towards Russia. And so Canada, Japan, others need to protect themselves against China. They need to protect themselves against Russia as the United States gets increasingly weak. So yesterday, Prime Minister Carney in Ontario held a meeting. I'll cover it in a little bit with Air Force members. Talked about increasing their pay, increasing the Air Force there. Also, another Canadian story I'm going to cover in 90 minutes. The equivalent of the Canadian Girl Scouts called the Girl Guides. There are about 60,000 of them not coming to the United States, terrified of the United States and Trump's behavior, his attacks on Canadian sovereignty, the attacks on people from other countries. It was just an interesting thing. The research tool that I use is called Ground News. And it's just interesting that right-wing media is not covering at all the buildup of militaries across the world in response to counteract Donald Trump, or they're not covering at all that the Canadian Girl Scouts, 60,000 of them, not coming to the United States at the same time. We have tourism from Canada down 32 to 40% into the United States, causing massive harm to the American economy based on Donald Trump's behavior. We're feeling that pain in our economy, but the right-wing media is not going to cover that. So I use Ground News just to say, is the right wing covering this? Is the left wing covering it? You asked me what research tools I use. I use Ground News. If you want to use the tools that I use, you can tell them I sent you. Go to ground.news/MTN. I asked them if I can get you a 40% off the plan that I use. It's called the Vantage plan. They gave me the thumbs up. Scan the QR code or go to ground.news/MTN. Get 40% off the tools that I use, the Vantage plan. You can check out if you have any blind spots when it comes to some of the stories out there, what the right wing is covering, what left wing is covering. Ground News is subscriber funded. They don't rely on ads. They support our work. So go and check them out, ground.news/MTN. Get that 40% off. One of the things that happened yesterday as well, Donald Trump fired his IRS commissioner. Remember this guy over here, Billy Long. Billy Long got fired. Donald Trump's gone through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gone through 6 IRS commissioners have been fired. 6 have been fired in the past 6 months. And guess who Donald Trump appointed as the IRS commissioner? Treasury Secretary. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, he's going to be the IRS Commissioner now. We've literally had more people as IRS Commissioners in the past 6 months than we have on that position since 2010, but that's the Trump regime for you. Meanwhile, India pausing purchases of U.S. arms. India canceling visits to the United States, India setting meetings with China as Donald Trump pushes India in that direction, pushes our, people countries we were trying to court and who we had complicated relationships with, but we don't want them to be closer to Russia and China, right? No, they're going to become closer to Russia and China as Putin continues to outmaneuver and play Donald Trump. Here was when Donald Trump was asked, is Zelenskyy going to have to give up territory? And then Donald Trump said, yeah, there's just going to be some swapping. Just some swapping, everybody. Here, play this clip.
President Zelenskyy has to get all of his everything he needs because he's going to have to get ready to sign something. And I think he is working hard to get that done.
Will Zelenskyy have to give up territory, Mr. President?
Well, you're looking at territory that's been fought over for 3.5 years with, a lot of Russians have died, a lot of Ukrainians have died. So we're looking at that, but we're actually looking to get some back. And some swapping. It's complicated. It's actually nothing easy. It's very complicated, but we're going to get some back. We're going to get some switched. There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both. And but we'll be talking about that either later or tomorrow or whatever.
And look, folks, as that's happening too, what's going on domestically here? I mean, the Washington Post headline captures it. Cars, coffee, clothing, school supplies. They're getting pricier. Inflation surging right now. I think we're soon going to see not just over 3% inflation. I think we're going to surge past 3 and get to 4% inflation pretty soon. Everyday items are going to start to cost more. The impact of the tariff, it's a lagging indicator. No one said it was going to happen on day one, but it's a lagging indicator. We're going to start seeing those inflation number rise. Clothing, 37% more expensive. Shoes, bags, 39%. Food, at least 3%, but heading up. Produce, 7%. Cars, 12%. That is happening, folks. And while all of that's happening, Trump continues to build concentration camps. Here's the new facility in El Paso, Texas. You see it right there. They call it Fort Bliss. Alligator Alcatraz, Fort Bliss, 2 of the concentration camps. I mean, look at this. I mean, this photo looks like Nazi Germany. I mean, that's what the United States essentially has become under the Trump Gestapo right there. But the Trump propaganda network, I'll do a video on this as well. Keep checking back every 90 minutes. I'm going to do some good videos this morning, some powerful videos this morning. Here's this guy, Steve Moore. This kind of wacko economist who's a big Trump MAGA guy. Oh, what do you want me to say, Donald? And he's like, you know what? The economy's booming. They call Trump the working class president. It's booming, everybody. Things are great. Here, play this clip.
Using the levers of trade and tariffs, even though
hundreds of billions of dollars of investment will flow into the United States. That's Kellyanne. That's going to mean millions of jobs for Americans, for working. That's why they call him the working class president, because that's going to create jobs in factories and manufacturing and technology. So I'm very impressed with what's going on right now. I'm super bullish.
Oh, as one account notes, I'm trying to imagine being this dumb to believe this, but my imagination is not that good. And then California Governor Gavin Newsom fighting back. Held a press conference yesterday saying, look, if Texas does its unlawful gerrymandering, we'll put a trigger on it. We'll gerrymander in California. We'll do the same thing Texas is doing. If they do it, we're going to do it, and we're going to fight back. We don't want to do it, but if Texas is going to do it, we can't back down. We got to fight. Here's California Governor Newsom. Let's play it.
The leader of our congressional delegation, they are unanimous in their support of moving in this direction. Of the Speaker and the Pro Tem, and they strong support of their caucuses, and leaders of critical committees and caucus are here to express support. We are moving forward. Make no mistake. California is moving forward as a state that's larger than 21 state populations combined. We are not a small, isolated state larger than 21 populations combined. We've tried to play by a higher set of standards and rules with our independent redistricting, and we believe in that. And we are not talking about eliminating that commission. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Keep checking back every 90 minutes. Check out MeidasPlus.com. That's our Substack. We appreciate you. Have a good one.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.